team.
Yeah.
Tomorrow still only have 2 months.
Rather than ask about progress between last week and this week, with today being your last spring practice, I'm going to assume you say you haven't gotten everything done that you wanted to get done, but are you excited about where your guys are and hopeful for the offseason?
Yeah, very happy with the progress we've made. I feel like we're a lot better. I feel like there's a better understanding of the scheme. We didn't get all the way through with everything that we do scheme-wise, but most of it we got in. Need reps at some other things that we didn't get to, but I really feel like we made some strides, and there's a lot better understanding of where everybody fits, which is important, but when you get to the season, it's not just understanding, it's actually going out and executing. And I'm encouraged by the guys that we brought in and the difference they've made, and I'm encouraged by the guys that'll be here in June and provide more depth, more competition, and help us be even deeper and better, because I think we do have a chance to be pretty good.
Something we haven't really talked about, and maybe it's because it's not worth it, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you also have a better understanding of the American and what you're going to need defensively for the American, or did you have that last year coming in?
That's a great question. I think I do have a better understanding of the American. You Conference USA was one thing when we were here, and then you disappear and you end up at the MAC, and then the Pac-12, and then Mountain West, and then the SEC, and your whole vision of everything is clouded when you leave that other league. And then you come back to the American. You have a better idea now of what is in this conference, and it's damn good football. It's a really good conference. I think we've gotten a little bit better to match the talent. We still have a ways to go. The top dogs in this league are really, really good, and we've got to continue to upgrade our talent. Now we've stacked some good talent on top of the guys that we had. We've got to continue to stack here at FAU, honestly, if we want to be at the top talent-wise, because there are some very, very talented football teams. So yes, I think we have a better idea of what we need. I don't think we're all the way there yet, but I think we have enough pieces to be able to go out and compete with everybody on our schedule and contend for it. Really do.
Roc, Wendell Fillard coming from Kaiser, NAIA. Through the spring, has he looked in place as opposed to out of place? Mm-hmm. Physicality, from a mental standpoint, what have you seen from him as far as adjusting to this level?
Yeah, Wendell, talking to Coach Sosha when he was leaving there, told us what to expect from him, and what kind of player he was, what kind of person he was, and he's really exceeded all expectations. He really has. He looks like he's been playing here for 4 years. Looks like another guy that we have that's talented on our football team. You wouldn't know he transferred from an NAIA school unless somebody told you that. And I think that speaks to the level of talent in college football, no matter what level you're at, particularly NAIA, because it's good football. And I think it speaks to the transfer portal and things of that nature, where some guys are ending up at smaller schools that should be playing at bigger schools. And I'm really, really pleased, man. He's going to be a big part of the solution in the fall. He's physical. He's undersized, obviously, but he's physical. He's got, really good instincts. Wendell's going to be a really productive player for us.
Coach, want to take a look at the safeties position. Last year had its fair share of injuries, needing to turn to guys who were lower on the depth chart. What are you anticipating out of the safeties group this year, and which players from that position are you looking to see make a big jump in their game?
Yeah, our safety position needs to be a lot better than it was last year. It was a huge liability for us last year with the guys we had in there and some of the injuries that we had, and I think we rotated maybe 7 guys. And it's hard to get any continuity and understanding of what we're trying to get done when we're shuffling guys around. Mm-hmm. So, we brought in a couple of, Wendell, count him, he's at nickel, Lawrence Johnson, Phillip Dunnam, and I've got really, really high hopes for those guys. Jaden Williams is playing a little bit of safety, a little bit of nickel. He's kind of a utility knife that can, fill a lot of roles. You got Armani Adams coming back off an injury, and he's still got a ways to go to be back to his old self. And then we got some guys coming in the summer, and my track record here, I'll play true freshmen. In 2015, we started 5 true freshmen, and they played really, really good defense. So, the CJ Hurts, Kyle Boylston, and Mike Wright, those guys that are coming in as freshmen, along with Jaheim Miller and Curtis Javier, who are here already, those guys will be factors. And the best two will play, you know, and then the third guy's a nickel and all that. I think we'll have good competition come the fall. The guys that are out there now have done some good things, but they need to continue to take strides to hold on to those spots, and those other guys that are coming in will give us some depth.
Coach, it seems like everyone in college football now has a mobile quarterback. If you don't, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. What is your philosophy on defending the QB scramble, specifically on big third downs?
Yeah, I wish I had an answer for you. I think that's a problem for everybody. Once, you know, in defense, if the quarterback's not a runner, you have 11, they really have 10, right? He's got to distribute the ball. Once he runs the ball, it's 11 on 11, and now someone's got to make a play on him. So running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks, they create a math issue. You know, they have an equal number of people, so someone's got to make a play. So, you know, you just got to, there's certain schemes that we run that you're trying to get 2-on-1 to the quarterback in certain schemes, but there's going to be a time where we're 1-on-1 and we have to tackle that guy. And, you know, I know our guy's a problem. You know, the Michael Vicks, what's his name, Jackson. You know, those guys, they're really rich for a lot of reasons because they can run and make things happen with their feet and throw the ball. So it's a problem for every defense, man, when that quarterback can run. So we gotta be sound, especially on third down in the red zone when its quarterback scrambles can really hurt you. We gotta be cognizant of collapsing the pocket and getting in his face when it's passed and rallying to the run game when he pulls it.
With this being the final practice session before the spring game, what are some areas that you're going to be looking very closely once the team goes out on the field for Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, you know, tomorrow we have some situations that we need to cover that we haven't gotten to yet, offensively and defensively, and then, you know, a little bit of prep for Army and things of that nature. Saturday is just really, let's see who can line up and play and make tackles and make somebody miss, make a throw, make a catch, defend the ball. It's going to be very vanilla, very simple stuff that everybody can execute and see what we have, you know, see who really, really stands out. Less about scheme and more about making plays and being in the right spot.
Coach, something that you've been advertising all spring is the takeaway kings, where you're just incentivizing DBs to make a play. Can you talk about just the athleticism that we've seen through social media and through different practice viewings, but can you just talk about the day in and day out about how your secondary has improved throughout the offseason?
Yeah, how our secondary has improved throughout the offseason, number one is it's a personnel thing. We brought in some good football players that have upgraded our talent. So that's number one. Number two, the third year with Brandon Harris and Derek Gibson and Jordan Helm and Colin Spencer, hearing the same message, having the same coordinator here for the first time in 9 years, I think has helped them understand where they fit in the defense better. I think that's been part of it. And I think with the turnovers that you asked about, I think it's really emphasis and buy-in. And I didn't do a good enough job last year of emphasizing it and didn't get enough buy-in from the players on it because I didn't emphasize it enough. So that's why we're giving those takeaway king things and trying to get them to really take pride in it, showing more clips and after practice of when they should be looking to take the ball away and them having a better understanding where those opportunities are. And I think it's been paying off.
Thanks, Roc.
Okay, guys, thank you.
You see
Thanks, Coach.
about little progressions each week, but rather, since today is closing it out for us, can you just talk about the growth that you've seen from last year's spring to this year's spring?
Talking about me or the team?
Both.
The whole team, all right. The position group, we getting better. We listening to what our coaches saying, we buying in. We taking it day by day. Me, I'm meeting with coach every day, going in. All right, focusing on the little things like what I can get better at, meeting with them, getting with them about the plays and stuff like that.
Has everything kind of slowed down for you where you're picking up things faster?
Yes, it slowed down a little bit. I just got to get it a little bit more.
How's the competition with all the new guys?
Competition is great. They work me every day. They work everybody every day. Getting us better for the first game.
Fabian, what are some things you're looking to improve upon from your freshman year?
All right, for me personally, like they always say, the way I gotta focus more and give it my all and working on my feet and my hands and my tackling. That's it.
Fabian, How would you describe the overall vibes of the team for this spring compared to how it was last year? How different it is?
The overall vibe for this spring, it's good vibes every day. Everybody coming in the building, happy, ready to work. It's just good vibes. We competing every day, working hard, getting after it. That's it.
Good. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right,
Thank you, Fabian.
You're welcome.
Good specific players or incremental improvements this spring. Can you overall talk about the growth from last year at this time to this year?
Yeah, I think year two, is probably the year you're gonna see the most growth. You know, year one is a lot of everything's new coaches, coaches getting to know coaches, players getting to know coaches. So you're gonna see a lot of growth in year two, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach. You know, I think all those variables matter.
When you look at Saturday, in terms of how you evaluate it, is it any more or less important than any other practices, or because it is game situation, does it place a little more emphasis on it?
No, I think you're trying to create a game mentality every time you step on the field. You know, whether you're throwing a routes on air corner route, or you're throwing a third down corner route in a spring game. It's hard as a player to carry two mentalities. You know, a practice mentality and a game mentality. So you try and put the pressure on them and try to create that one mindset. Whether you're practice, whether you're game, whether you're telling me a progression in a meeting room, somehow you got to apply that pressure and take away the calmness. Say I'm sitting in a chair and it's 72 degrees, right? And there's nobody trying to come hurt me. But you got to try and recreate that so that you have one mindset playing this game.
Coach, with the spring game being 2 days away, what are some areas that you're going to be looking at very closely from the offense once they take the field Saturday?
All of them. I think, you know, we just had practice 13, you know, and today, just for an example, like we were in a 2-by-2 formation the whole day. Okay, so, you know, the defense is you know, giving us the Rolodex of play of their calls. So, you know, from a quarterback's perspective, an offensive perspective, you're in a mirrored alignment, whether it's 2 tight ends and 12 personnel, or you're in 11 personnel and open sets, but you're still in a 2-by-2 set and marrying the looks of, okay, this is what it looks like when they bring field pressure, right? This is what it looks like when they're bringing interior pressure or boundary pressure, and then you're able to stack all those things up and take that into fall camp. So I think all areas are still in focus, and you're just looking for every day guys go out there and get better, a little bit better every day.
Coach, with the spring game coming up, is it where the playbook's completely open, or are there some things you don't really want to put out there yet, and maybe it's for the season?
Yeah, I think we'll have that conversation, you know, depending on what Coach Herman wants to do in the staff meeting, and then just go from there.
Coach, we have a completely different offense from last year, a lot of new personnel. Can you talk about just all the guys being able to build chemistry together, and then returning guys being able to take guys under their wing and just build into one offensive core?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of football, right? I mean, especially offensive football, is it takes 11 guys doing their job. It's a basketball game, you see, you know, Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a LeBron James, or somebody like that can take it, or Steph Curry the other night, right? Just take over a game. It doesn't work like that in football. You know, you're counting on your brother, you're counting on your other 10 guys on the field, so that everyone doing their job, you know, and being able to stack that time after time after time after time, and until you get the ball in the end zone, and then you come over, you drink Gatorade, and then you got to go do it again. So it's about the consistency of how many times can we do that in a row. You know, I think that's the key to offensive football, is just the consistency of it, and then to your point, like the camaraderie, right? That's the secret sauce, right? The secret sauce on the sandwich is the camaraderie, and that's built over time, right? I got to get you to trust me, right? And I got to trust you, and words can't do that. You know, that doesn't just happen. Those things are earned, and how are they earned? You know, how you show up to work every day. whether that's winter conditioning, whether that's spring ball, right? Every day you're earning or you're not earning your teammates' trust.
Coach, it seems like just based off of your offense and from the spring and from last year, that motion is a huge part of the offense. Can you talk about how you like to use it and exploit defenses?
Yeah, I think you motion for a reason. You know, you're giving a man zone indicator sometimes when you're sending them across the ball on some third down plays, and you know you can build those into man beaters and zone beaters. Obviously you can motion for leverage. You know, to get an off corner in a position by short motioning your receiver, and sometimes you're just using it for eye candy. You know, change of strength, and really just from what I learned, it creates communication defensively. So you're taking it out of the defensive play caller's hands, right? And you're forcing the 11 players on the field to now communicate, the new formation, strength, and those things.
Coach, something that's very different from last year is we now have more experienced mobility at the quarterback position. Can you just talk about how we have weapons like Cam, MJ, and Ty who are all able to use their legs and really just expand this offense?
Yeah. So if you look, 10 years ago or about a decade ago, just how that position has changed. Okay, and you don't see the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's, the pure pocket guys. Now it's the baddest dude in the school. In high school is the quarterback, right? The biggest, the fastest, the strongest guy. He's playing quarterback. So, they're like erasers. They can erase a mistake up front. They can extend the play. You can incorporate them in the run game. Those things. But you just seen the evolution of the quarterback position and how it's changed over time. And I think the rules have helped that. With the non-ability to really, take the hits that you could take back in the day of the game protecting the quarterback. And the game protecting the receivers on in-breaking routes. So I think as the game evolves, as the rules evolve, and the players evolve, you're looking at a different quarterback.
Good. Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about how the spring has gone, some of the things that you've enjoyed, maybe something that was new that you didn't expect?
Something new that I didn't expect was how fast the tempo is here now. A lot faster than where I was coming from. But really, the main thing that I'm getting out of this spring is getting closer with those guys. Building a bond with them, a stronger relationship outside of football, really. So when we get on the field, it's easier to, come together as one and play football and win games. But that's mainly what I'm getting out of this spring. I'm enjoying it so far, for sure.
Very good.
Phillip, you're transitioning over from Indiana, where you transferred from over the summer. What convinced you to see FU as a great destination to make your arrival and play for the Owls?
Being closer to home, having a stronger relationship with my position coach, to get to where I want to be, which is the next level. I say that's mainly it, really. Transitioning from Indiana, just having a strong relationship with my coaches. That's it.
Phillip, you talked about your relationship off the field with some of your teammates. Can you talk about on the field maybe who some of the guys that you really like playing with are?
Some of the guys I really like playing with, all of them. Everybody make plays, everybody fly around, everybody come on the field with good energy. From the start, since we walk in the locker room with good energy, so I like being around everybody. Really, everybody make me feel at home.
To follow up on that, who's some of the receivers that line up that you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a little tougher?
Mari Hayes, Deshaun Platt, Joe Young, Lon Tucker, Caleb Coombs. Those guys really put that work in day and day out. So lining up over there, you gotta, use your eyes and play.
You've done well in spring practice. You looking forward to Saturday just to kind of put the exclamation point on spring practice?
Yes, sir. Put the icing on the cake. Yes, sir.
From what standpoint? Just playmaking or how
my effort, really. I ain't gonna say playmaking because I making the plays, but I say flying around way more than I'm flying around now. Just take it to another level to in the spring off in a good way.
As a defensive back, you're able to play multiple positions on defense. How would you describe the different dynamic of playing either safety, corner, or nickel?
Can you say that one time in other words?
Well,
Sorry.
yeah. What's the difference? How is it different for you whenever you play at corner, nickel, or safety? Like, how would you describe that difference of playing either position?
I wouldn't say there's a big of a difference because at DB, really, every position you gotta use your eyes, you gotta have technique, you gotta play fast, you gotta run, and that's every defensive back position on the field: corner, nickel, safety. But the main thing with me is I say the technique. That's it, really, because at corner you gotta use a different technique than use at safety and nickel. At safety you can kind of flat foot read some things, but at corner, as far as when you play corner, you gotta keep your feet high. Playing nickel, you gotta keep your feet high. Can't really, hot your feet at safety like that. But I say that's the only thing, technique wise, yes sir.
Phillip, what do you think some of your biggest strengths are on the field as a player?
Biggest strength, instincts, ball skills, knowing when a certain play is coming at a certain point in the game or practice or scrimmage, really. But yeah, I'd say that's my biggest. Yes sir.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
folks.
Thank you.